Welcome, it's denome. Today I have some exciting news to share with you guys that you may not have heard of yet. As well as when we take a look at the price here right now, you can see that we came right to this support line that I showed you in my previous video, 57,500. We got the strong bounce from there. Now the obvious question is, where will the price go next? So I will talk about that in this video. We're going to take a look at the fundamentals. But first, let's actually jump right into the news. First, let's take a look at the good news, then we talk about the bad news. So the best news that I have today is when we take a look at NASDAQ. Let's go and take a look at the NASDAQ futures. We have been following this for quite a while already. So when we are in the logarithmic view here, I said that this is looking a little bit scary. The price went basically below this yellow line here. And previously, when we have gone below the yellow line on the logarithmic view, that was usually a signal for a bear market. But as you can see right now, we are on top of the line here. So we're basically back in the bull zone for NASDAQ. So this is obviously very, very, very good. And another way to look at it when I saw this is when I actually exited the logarithmic view and I just used the normal view, you can actually see that we never actually dipped to the bear zone on the normal view. So depending which view you used, you never were bearish, but even now, like, this is looking quite bullish at the moment. Obviously there could be a dip back to the normal here, but as of now it seems like markets are basically optimistic back again in the markets. So let me go back to the logarithmic view because that's what we are using here. When we take a look at S&P 500 though, we are basically still below the bull line here. So let's see how things continue from here. But all in all, a strong bounce from S&P 500 even. Let's take a look at this. This is a 6.8% pump. So that's there. And then when we take a look at the money printers, when we take a look at the global liquidity chart, you can see we have basically sustained the liquidity on top of the previous all-time high, which we have been holding for quite a while already. So this was the previous all-time high. We went above it and we're still basically hovering there. So let's see how things continue. But we do have reasons to expect more money printing. Obviously, we still have the elections coming, so that will eventually cause more money printing. At least that's most likely the expectation, that the new president will initiate money printers to basically make everybody trust them and make everybody have good times, the markets go up. You don't want to start your presidency with a market crash. But you cannot exactly time these things, but all in all, I do expect money printers to go back online. But as you can see here, this news came just now. United States has approved another sale of $20 billion worth of military equipment to Israel. So this is a good news and a bad news. It's good news that money printers are basically back online. The war funding is on. Usually this means that more liquidity is injected to the market and usually assets go up. Obviously it's bad for world peace. It's bad for the people of Gaza. It's bad for everybody who is pro-peace, but it's potentially good for asset prices. Obviously, if there's an Iran retaliation, which is supposed to be imminent, it should have happened 48 hours ago, but we haven't seen anything yet. So let's see if anything happens. UK, they just announced that they will be evacuating 60,000 Britons from Israel. So let's see how things continue, and maybe they will escalate, maybe not. I think the war situation, unless something major happens, I don't think that will have a negative effect on the markets. Obviously, if Iran bombs a US carrier and United States is drawn into this conflict, that could obviously have an impact on the market prices as well. But at least as of now, this is starting to be like old news or news as normal. People don't really go ecstatic about this. Yesterday we had the talk with Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Nothing was said about crypto there, so basically it was a non-event for crypto. When we take a look at the fundamentals here, pretty much fundamentals continue to be pretty strong. So more Bitcoin is taken out of the exchanges, or it has pretty much gone flat. people still don't want to sell their Bitcoin. When we take a look at the amount of stablecoins, we did get a little bit of stablecoin printing, but basically almost nothing. So what we got is just like what is this, $80 million worth of new stablecoins. So a little bit, but not much there. The same people who accumulated before still accumulate. The only difference here is that the bracket which holds 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin, they were basically selling during this time. But as you can see, the people who have sold are now almost at this local low once again. So maybe the seller pressure from these people is also done, which means that the prices basically have to go up if the other people are basically continuing to buy, which they are. So when we take a look at the old money, again, basically no prints on old money selling. So still old money wants to keep their Bitcoin. So that kind of gives me the idea that the prices still want to go up as well. Bitcoin miners, they were selling during this time, during this dump here, even the pullback, the miners were selling here and here and here. But as you can see, just lately, we have seen a little bit more accumulation, kind of signaling that this is basically the bottom for Bitcoin miners selling. So even now, another seller basically has exited the market, the miners, as it looks right now. This could change, obviously, at any given moment, but at least as of now, it looks like the miners have stopped selling, which is kind of giving you the idea as well that the move has to go to the upside. Something else here that I do want to touch on, not exactly, nothing substantial. When we take a look at altcoins haven't had crazy moves yet. So altcoins are basically lagging behind. So today I actually made a pretty big move and I bought something called TFUEL. So Theta Fuel, this is the similar coin as Theta. I made a decent amount of money with Theta play with at the start of the year. It went from I think $1.5 to $2.6. So that was a good play that I announced on Discord. But TFUEL is basically the same asset as is Theta. It's just the secondary token. It's basically the money token on that ecosystem. So what is Theta? It's basically it's an AI token. So Theta, you can plug into their network and basically rent out your computing power to generate AI images, hosting services, content generation, and some companies are maybe starting to use Theta as basically backbone to generate more AI content. So this is an AI token, even though it previously wasn't that. But nowadays, as you can see, the market cap is quite low. The all-time high here, it has been pretty high. So the all-time high was roughly 67 cents. And now the price is 0.57 cents. So the travel from the current price to all-time high is more than 10x. So that's one of the reasons why I bought this. It's basically at this local low here. It already pumped here quite nicely before with Theta token. So that's why I basically bought some Theta as well. Something else, when we take a look at the Bitcoin ETFs, no selling, no nothing interesting there. What else? Let's go and take a look at Dune, Ethereum, ETFs. You can see a little bit more accumulation from the previous video as well. So that's quite nice to see. 2.31% of the current ETH supply is in these. So when we take these into consideration, and we can even take a look at the Bitcoin Google Trends as well, we are seeing a little bit more interest in Bitcoin from the lows of this short-term move here. It was at 19. You can see it peaked here at 34. Now the number is back to 23. So from 19 to 23 right now. Crypto still lagging behind, so almost nobody is still interested in crypto. That's one of the reasons why altcoins are going down. So I'm getting more confident, I have to say, in the crypto markets overall. So we get more money printing, we get the bounce back from Nasdaq. The long-term holders of Bitcoin still don't want to sell. Altcoins are basically at a low point, so I think this is a decent time to get into the markets. Obviously, it's not the perfect time. The perfect time would have been here at $17,000 Bitcoin, but as of now, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of room to go to the downside. So like I've showed you here in the charts, I'll show you again. This line is probably going to be respected unless the markets break and there's going to be a massive crash in the markets. So this is going to probably be the bottom, $45,000, but now I may have to adjust it to $46,000. It's going to be the bottom, because every day as long as we stay above this line is climbing higher and higher and higher as well. So in the short term, what am I expecting? Let's go for the 1 hour chart here. So now we have a new trend line forming here on the charts. So we can draw it here and it looks like this. So if the price of Bitcoin basically comes and touches this line here, that may be a good time to actually buy some Bitcoin. If it falls below here, that's basically potential to short Bitcoin if it falls below this line here. And the short would be basically back to this orange line here, or back to the yellow trend line, $51,000, and the absolute bottom being that 46K right about here. So those are still possibilities that could happen, but all in all, I am getting more bullish. So now what we are basically expecting is a breakout from this level here, so $61,770. If we go, and when we go above it, I think the price of Bitcoin will continue to climb nicely afterwards. If we don't go above it, then we might actually fall below here. But we have, what do we have, Friday until the end of the week almost to basically break out to the upside or to the downside. So I'm getting more bullish with altcoins because they're the prices are so low, but they could still make new lows. They could still go lower, but I'm just placing more money into altcoins as well. And from my previous video, I got some feedback like, hey Denome, you're flipping bullish, you're flipping bearish. What is it exactly that you are doing? What do you mean by bullish and bearish? What do you tell me about these short-term moves? What about the long term? So for that, I have made like a simple navigator. So you can be, let me see, this is actually here. So that was the old chart. This is the new chart here. So here you can see, you can pause the video to basically understand when I'm bearish, when I'm neutral, and when I'm bullish. And I have a portfolio for each of these kind of phases in the bull market. There's a video, it's a little bit outdated, it's from 2020. I have changed my strategy a little bit. I have to make a new video on my portfolio management, but I have these different portfolios for market conditions, if I'm bullish, bearish, or neutral. So the bearish chart allocation is basically 70% in cash, 20% in low risk assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum. High risk would be basically altcoins, and in a neutral position you would have 40% in cash reserves to basically try to buy the dips. And when you buy the dips, you basically can flip all the way back to the bullish portfolio, which is 10% in stablecoins, 50% in Ethereum and Bitcoin, and 40% in altcoins. Right now, I'm somewhere between neutral and bullish portfolio. So right now, I wouldn't have 40% in cash or even 10% in cash. About 25%, in my opinion, makes a lot of sense. So you're able to buy the dips if we go to that 46K level, and that would be like you're pretty much all in at that point. So somewhere between neutral and bullish is basically my idea. But for short-term trades, if you're just trading These are basically the areas that you might flip bullish on top of the line here. But like right here, you can make a short position, then you have your stop loss maybe even above this high here. But right now I don't have any leverage plays because we're basically at the breakout moment here. What I do want to see is something like this to make leverage plays and try to buy the pullback from here. That's my current idea for the setup. Or if we go below it, I will make a short somewhere here, but I don't have a current like a limit orders ready to go. I'm quite neutral in this sense, but like long-term bullish. So all in all, that's all I had for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this update, and let me know if you want to see the bullish, bearish, neutral position, like complete explanation on that. I can make a video on that if you like that. So that's everything I had for today. Hope you liked it. Consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.